Hello and welcome, my bald-bearded friends. Today we're going to talk about Davidoff Zino versus Beau du Jour by Tom Ford. This is of course a video I wanted to do for the longest time when I reviewed the Zino by Davidoff, one of my absolute favorite fragrances and a very likable Beau du Jour. But how do they compare to one another? This is the N Beardsmen, the channel for everything for the bald bearded. So as you can see, I just shave my head and watch the video at the same time. Not a great idea. Let's get on to Davidoff Zino versus Beau du Jour. On sites like Fragrantica and also YouTube channels, there is a battle between people who think they're very much alike and people who think they're nothing alike and just two completely different kind of fragrances. So today I'm gonna invest in the notes, in the longevity, in everything about these two fragrances. I really want to watch and see if they're much alike and if they're comparable, and let's do the same things. And actually, if Zino right now is a cheaper option and the same kind of fragrance as Beau du Jour, because this one, the Zino, costs around 25 to 30 euros. And for the Zino, you can put a 1 before it. It's much more expensive. Both are great barbershop kind of fragrances, but for the best comparison, I will lay the note breakdown beside each other and compare the two. Starting off with Beau du Jour. Top notes are pretty simple. It's actually two kinds of lavender. It's lavender and lavender extract. So a clean, green, fresh. Although not listed to my nose, it's a bit rosy. Going on to Zino. It's Brazilian rosewood, so rosiness, lavender, clary sage and bergamot, so fresh, floral and clean. This one is obviously much more pronounced rosy, but laying them beside each other, I think the top is very much the same. Let's put Zino right here and Beau du Jour right here. Yeah. In the top, I would say they're pretty much alike. You can smell a bit more of a, how would I say it? How would I put it? A bit more quality, of course, in the Tom Ford. But I think that's only logical because it's 100 euros more per bottle, and even a much smaller bottle. I think this one is 50 mils and this one is 125 milliliters, so definitely a big price difference. Although in the top, as I just stated before, I think it's quite similar. There are differences in this between these two fragrances, but the differences will be more pronounced in the mid notes, the base notes, and a bit in longevity. Going on to the mid notes. Beau du Jour has rosemary, oak moss, mint, basil, and geranium, so a very old school masculine oak mossy geranium freshened up with the rosemary and the mints and basil, of course. It's just real nice, fresh, old school oak moss kind of fragrance like you had in the 80s, and that's of course why I like this one so much. But it's real nice, freshened up, of course, a little bit because of the geranium already, but the mint, rosemary and the basil definitely freshen it up and make it more, actually a bit more modern than Zino. And of course, Beau du Jour is much younger. I haven't looked it up, but I think it's 2010, something like that. And Zino is, I also haven't looked it up, but I think it's something in the 80s, 90s, something like that. Going on to Zino. Zino again as rose, geranium, jasmine and lily of the valley, so old school floral, a bit darker rose note, really likable, real nice. They still smell very much alike, at least to my nose. I'm of course not a trained parfumier. I'm not a big name in the fragrance scenes like Aaron Terrence Shoes or something, you know, names like that. But to my nose, they're very much alike, and it makes for me till this point a bit hard to say by this one, the much more expensive Beau du Jour over the Zino, which is kinda dirt cheap. Okay, rose, geranium, jasmine, and lily of the valley, old school floral, bit darker. Rose notes, bit darker than Beau du Jour. Then we'll go on to the base notes. Beau du Jour as patchouli and amber. It's a sweet amber. The base is sweet amber, earthy, warm, and woody. And Zino has patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, and cedar. So you can already see that Zino will be much more creamy, much more sweeter, also a bit of the earthy, woody kind of base, but it is far more pronounced in the sweetness, combined with the strong rose notes because of the Brazilian rosewood and the rose already in this, combined with the bit more creamy, earthy sweetness. The base will actually enhance, to my nose, the very nice rose note in this fragrance. Beau du Jour, on the other hand, even though I really, really like this fragrance, dry down is not where it shines to my nose. I really like Beau du Jour in the top. You know, when you just sprayed it and you smell the lavender, the real nice clean green freshness. Going on to the mid, the oak moss, geranium, the old school vibes. I really like this one. But when you go on to the base, I think Zino will actually win this one, because the rose would, is to my nose, everything is to my nose of course in this review, but at least the rosewood will be more pronounced even in the dry down, and the vanilla, cedar, sandalwood and patchouli just make it to a bit more interesting kind of fragrance in the base compared to the patchouli and the amber in the Beau du Jour. So side by side, you know, looking at the note breakdown, of course, I think they're not very much alike. Yes, there are comparisons, but it's not that close, I would say. The quality is, of course, for a win for the Beau du Jour, way better. But considering it's like 5 times the price, what would you expect? It would be a shame if it was 2 times the quality. You know that no one would want to buy it, but because of the quality, I really like this one. You know, it smells expensive because it is. Both are really old school masculine fragrances, at least to my nose, very rosy kind of fragrances. And I really like that aspect of these fragrances again. Ooh, if I have to choose between the two, I would say if you like collecting fragrances and you like the, you know, the quality, real nice scent, the best ingredients you can find, I think Beau du Jour will win. If you're just looking for a nice, dark, rosy kind of fragrance, and you know, you're not looking for Tom Ford, you know, a special brand, niche or semi-niche kind, I don't know, more expensive mainstream, whatever you want to call it. And you still want a nice, rosy, masculine, old school kind of fragrance, I would definitely go with Zino. And if you want to look for, you know, compliments, Zino actually gave me more compliments than the Beau du Jour so far. And because of the price, of course, you just spray it 10 times and so be it. Well, thanks for watching here on the stream. I will put a video with all kinds of old school kind of fragrances. Really actually like these two. And I hope I see you there. Have a nice day. Ciao.